All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Let's see if we are, let's show that there, and boom, we are live action here. We're going to get a whole bunch of you in. Do me a favor, send me a little message, Stephen and myself, and let us know that you see us and we look really, really cool and all that stuff. I'm going to click over and make sure on the CEO Warrior World. Yes, I see us. We are looking good, Stephen. We both look really, really good.
They like us. Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
All right, what's up, Stephanie Biles? What's happening? We're going to talk some really, really ninja online stuff today. We're just going to let everybody jump in a little bit here, get you all warmed up and stuff. And then I'm going to introduce Stephen, let him know a little bit about you. What is up, Brian and Mike? Yep, this is going to be super, super cool, everybody. I'm glad Stephanie's excited for the information. And we are here to teach you stuff to make you what? Here we go. Money. That's what we want to make you. Maybe better than that. What's better than money? How about lots of money? Isn't that like, let's just make lots and lots of money. Who else? Joe Collins. What's up, brother? Nice to see Warrior Brothers in the house today. We're going to give it, let's see, 2 more minutes. We're going to let you guys jump in here and get you all revved up, excited while you're either on the road or building your empire. Trevor's in the house. What's up, Trevor? I feel like I should have had that Money song on there. We'll do that next time for you guys. All right, let's get this happening so you guys know who I am. I am Mike Aguilera, the Warrior. That's why you are here. And Stephen, tell them who you are, a little bit about yourself.
What's up, everybody? My name's Stephen Christopher. I'm the CEO of Sequus Digital Marketing. I've been doing digital marketing since about 2005. And a little more recently, for the last half decade, been doing digital marketing for the home service industry. Ever since. And so it was an industry that we were really able to serve and feel really, really good about and get rid of a bunch of the junk other digital marketing agencies out there that have been serving you guys before. And so that's where I've been really for the last half decade or so. We do web design and development, all focused around conversion, making sure that when people get to your site, they don't just see some pretty website, which is what a lot of people build, but instead they see, instead they're going to take action. And as everybody wants to see, going to make more money from that. We do SEO, organic search engine optimization, pay-per-click such as AdWords, and paid social media, a couple other things in there like email marketing and things, other services that are going to support making sure that you're getting the most out of those lists that you have, most out of current clients, and getting the most opportunity to get new people to your site and call you.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And what I thought, and you guys could, since you know we're talking about online, and we'll go anywhere you want. Our goal is to talk about some of the most cutting edge technologies, systems out there, ways to bring in dollars. So I don't care if you guys want to talk pay-per-click, you want to talk SEO, you want to talk website, you want to talk direct response. I'm going to lead Stephen into a whole bunch of areas here that pretty much, to tell you the truth, it's a whole bunch of stuff I wish I didn't have to spend millions of dollars to figure out. That's really what I want to talk about, so that you don't have to spend millions of dollars. So I think a good place to start, Stephen, is let's just start with talking about, websites, because, Stephen and I were talking a little bit before we got cranking here. And I was like, people got it all wrong. They're thinking website is like this vehicle or this thing, and it's just like to tell people some stuff you do, but they got it all wrong. So Stephen, why don't you talk about maybe let's just cover the top 3 things right now on that people got all wrong about website, why to have it, what to have, where to have it type stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give an analogy, and maybe this will kind of help. So think about, let's call it 30 years ago, before websites were really around. So you're driving down the street in a town that you don't know, and there's a restaurant on the right side of the road and a restaurant on the left side of the road. And you look at both of them in the store, you look at the storefronts. One restaurant has, there's no grass in the sidewalk, there's no BB holes in the door. It's got a really nice sign. And the one on the left side of the street has a little bit of grass growing in the sidewalk. The sign's kind of rusty. Maybe it's hanging off, by one little screw. There's a BB hole in the window. Well, the restaurant on the left-hand side of the street could have the absolute best, most amazing food compared to the one on the right that looks really nice, but you're driving through this town that you don't really know anybody. You don't have Yelp 30 years ago. So which one of those are you going to go into not knowing? You're going to go into the one on the right. You're going to go into the one that looks good. It puts its best foot forward. And that's the same thing that we have to bring forward to today with websites. The website is really your digital storefront. And if you're not spending the time, the energy, the money to make it look amazing, people are going to go somewhere else. They're going to go over to the one that does look amazing. I mean, we see, Mike, geez, how many websites have we looked at in this industry that the company's doing like 5 million, they're doing pretty good, they give good service, but the website's terrible. I mean, they could easily be doing 10 million, maybe just with a really good website. So it's really important to keep in mind that your website is not just this depreciating asset or this depreciating liability that you've got to buy every couple years. It's the face of your business.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what's important about that? I think, Stephen, people just look at the website like I'm trying to show people I'm just trying to show them some things I do. Now, delivering answers is definitely one piece of a website, right? I mean, that's one thing Stephen and I, when Stephen's building all of my websites, which Stephen has worked on building a ton of my websites. He's working on a brand new CEO Warrior website, which is off the hook what we're building. One, we want to definitely deliver answers, but you want to deliver a sense of professionalism first. And Stephen looks at a ton of these things like I do. And then normally I say, you got to go see Stephen, because I look at it, I'm like, who are you even talking to? What are you even trying to say? And since my industry, as Stephen knows, used to be, plumbing and heating and cooling and electric, but it's no longer that. I mean, I work with dog trainers, consignment stores. The last event Stephen was at, he was here teaching and helping people. We had 2 brain doctors. I mean, we've had everybody in between. I got a music store that's come aboard, landscapers, everything. Is this website has to deliver world-class feel to start the process. And maybe, Stephen, you could talk about that. Yeah, Lindsay, you're right. So many websites just suck today, right? And they think it's not important, but it's nuts. So go ahead, Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, so when we talk about tell me your question again. Lindsay threw me off with her comment. I was looking at our shirts.
Well, yeah. Always marketing. That's what marketers do. We always market. That's what always market. Well, here's the thing that I think we want to make sure we get clear for them, Stephen, is when someone finds your website, what is the main purpose of it? Deliver answers, deliver value, tell them how to take the next step. What are some of those things you tell everybody? It's got to do these things.
Got it. Yeah, it's got to do all of those things. And so I remembered what I was going to say now. With the website, you said, you don't really know who you're talking to. There's lack of clarity on most websites. So you've got to be very clear on who's your ideal client, who's your avatar. And then the website, almost instantaneously, when somebody goes to it, when your ideal client goes to it, it needs to build trust with them. So if your ideal client is a 45-year-old mother of 2 that lives in a neighborhood with white picket fences, you should probably have some imagery that's going to be attractive to her, because you've got to build that trust with that ideal client or that avatar really, really quickly. A couple things that you need to make sure that you have on the site, and it's almost embarrassing that I even have to say this, but you've got to have a really big phone number. If you want phone calls, you've got to give people the opportunity to call you by putting a really big phone number in a strategic place. Most of the time, at least have it in the upper right-hand side of the website, because people are used to doing that. We get a lot of questions. People want to be different. They want to build this site that's so different from everybody else. But the problem with that is that you can build something so different that nobody's going to know how to interact with it. And even though it might look cool or win some sort of a web design award, it's not going to make you more money. So don't try to be so different that you confuse people. So a really big phone number. Next, you want to have the ability for somebody to schedule service or connect with you to schedule service online. So, maybe you have somebody that is at work. They aren't able to call you right now, but they've got to schedule service. You've got to give them an opportunity to reach out to you specifically to schedule service, request an appointment, whatever it is that you offer. And then last, you want to talk to people that aren't ready to do anything right now. It's not an emergency. They don't have to do it. They don't really want to call you because they know that you're going to try to maybe make an appointment or sell them something. They're not really ready to schedule service, but they are interested, because if you've done a really good job building trust with the avatar, they're going to be willing to give you something like their email address in return for something of value. So Mike, as you know, a lot of the sites that we've built over the years is, over $1,100 in money saving coupons, something of massive, massive value in exchange for their email. So now you've kind of given all different types of visitors some way to interact with you and some way to give you information about them and show that they're interested.
Yeah, and I think what's really important there that you summed up, which I see websites today, and I did it years ago. You go on a guy's website and he's got his truck driving across, like they care about that at all, flares and things flying in the air. And it's like, they didn't come there looking for that, They didn't come there looking for that. What they want to do, and yeah, Stephanie, we'll talk about that in a minute. What they want to do is, I need something, right? And if you look at the two paramount needs that somebody needs, is they need to be more comfortable or more safe. Isn't that it? I mean, think of everything you would go to a website for. I want to look at a new iPhone. That's for more comfort, right? I want to look for new workout clothes. That's for more comfort in life. I want to look how to, my water heater might explode. Well, that's safety and stuff. So you got to make sure you're really clear on, well, first off, what do people want when they even come there? They're going to want comfort or they're going to want safety. Next thing is, don't confuse them with a million things. And Steven knows, because I'm preaching to myself right now. I'm not teaching you. I'm teaching myself. I love to put 100 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. I'm notorious for that. But guess what? Not all those things is what they need right now. Talk to them about, you've come here, look at me, here's what I have for you, right? Here's some things you could pick to help, because it is a funnel, right? I know some people today, Steven, they want to tell you, flip the funnel, crush the funnel, turn the funnel sideways. In the end, the damn funnel is, someone comes to you, they need to answer a question that's in their mind. If you answer the question, they then will, guess what? Ask themselves another damn question. That's it. So if I come there and I'm like, oh, do they do plumbing? Yes, they do plumbing. What's my next question? Well, do they do the type of plumbing I need? Oh, they do water heaters. I have a water heater problem. What's the next question? Well, I don't know. Do they do tankless water heaters? Oh, look, they do tankless water heaters. Oh, how do I get in touch with them? Oh, I could click this button. But this is what Steven's the best at, is showing the process of people just answering. And guys, hey, what's up, Matt? Nice to see you and stuff. The thing that you're trying to answer is just answer a damn question. The person who answers the questions the best, the quickest, the most efficient for the consumer wins the money. Does that make sense, Stephen?
Yeah, basically it's solve the problem, right? Solve the problem. Make sure you have all the information on there to solve their problem. It's I was just reading one of Jay Abraham's books, and he says in there that somebody is 100 times more likely to take action to avoid pain than gain pleasure. So it's just like what you're saying. Make sure that you're solving their problem. Make it easy for them to find what they want, and don't hide it. I mean, I'll give a very, very specific example of what you're talking about, this clutter. And we see a lot of websites that come to us as new clients, and they have like schedule service online, request maintenance online, and something else that's all basically the exact same thing to the consumer. And they're like, well, shit, like what, I don't know, like, do I need to schedule service? Do I need maintenance? Like, is this thing, I don't know what to do. And even those little things that you might feel like you're doing to add value to the clients through the website, it's actually creating confusion. So kind of our internal strategy when we build sites is we'll say to the client, okay, tell me everything that you kind of feel like you want on your homepage. And then we get this nice little list of stuff, well, nice big list of stuff. And then we say, okay, cool, let's cut out 50%. And half the time their jaw kind of hits the floor. They're like, what are you talking about? They struggle through it. We cut out about 50%. And then we'll go back and say, okay, cut out another 50%. And it's very rare that we can actually cut out another 50%, but it makes your mind think, okay, what could I get rid of that's not imperative to have on the home page of the website that's going to build trust, talk to my ideal client, solve a problem, or help somebody get to the objective that we want or that you want as the owner. You've got to get rid of stuff, not add stuff.
Yeah. You know what's really cool, which a lot of you don't even know yet. Well, a couple things, because I haven't told everybody, but I threw the link up there. Stephen, so here's the cool thing. You were at the last Service Business Edge event. How was that event from your experience as coming in as a certified partner, serving all kinds of people? How was that event for you, if I could ask real quick?
Oh, it was crazy. It was, I mean, look, we had Jay Abraham there. I mean, give me a break. It's like, marketing guy listening to in the same room as the, like, I don't know exactly what his title is. It's like the godfather of marketing, but I mean, it's Jay Abraham, right? And so just that was a highlight. And then the cool thing, Mike, that I've always told you about your events and talked to people when they ask me, should I go, is that, I've been going to your events for years, and every event levels up, changes a little bit. It's never the same because you're always so focused on learning and growing. And so I appreciate that about you. And yeah, the event's awesome. If you're thinking about going,
yeah,
and you, I guess, want to grow a business. If you don't want to grow a business, you probably shouldn't go. But if you want to grow your business, you should just go.
and I didn't mean to take us down a rabbit trail, but I was excited because you said Jay Abraham, and Lindsay's on here. I think she's still on here, and I didn't even tell you guys really yet, which I have to, because you have to upload the. So guys, while you're watching this, if it's okay, I'll show you how efficient I am. Stephen, you need to do this on my site. Okay, so this is how fast Stephen's team's going to take care of it. We have Brian Kurtz coming out to the next Service Business Edge event, one of the top copywriters in the world. Guess who else we got coming back again? Mike Michalowicz, the legend. And I just got off the phone with Jay Abraham's assistant, and there's a 99% chance Jay's coming back to the June event. And when he comes back, he's even going to be more on fire than before. So Mike Michalowicz, Brian Kurtz, and Jay Abraham. So, Stephen, thanks for the compliments there, but we're going to take it to hyper level. So now you got to get that all on my website for me, okay?
Done, man. I got it listed.
All right, cool. Let's talk about websites. Now, let's answer Stephanie. Stephanie's question was, do service chat buttons work? I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to have Stephen and explain why. And we have one of our vendor partners, which if you guys want, I'd be glad to. We have some really awesome vendor partners and stuff. And if you guys, Matt is one of them, and Trevor's another one from Home Service Chats. If you guys want us to do this with other people, just hit me up or type in here like, yeah, I'd love to do one of these partner talks with one of those. But I'm going to say yes, you must do it. Steven can tell you why to do it.
Yeah, so what we've seen with chat is it definitely increases the percentage of leads to the site. The data is, Trevor, who I think he might still be watching this, maybe he can throw up his stat because he runs a company that just does chat, but the percentages are definitely there to make it worthwhile. And if you're going to use a chat company, here's the thing that I think people miss, and Stephanie, maybe this will be helpful, is chat adds value only if it's done correctly, because chat can also take away a massive amount of value. And we've been, just personally in my business, we've been through this where we put a chat on our website, we didn't really have it manned properly or staffed properly, and like we would miss leads, and they would never, they would never get back in touch with us, or they'd never answer the phone. So we probably lost that lead. And with chat, it's got to be done right. I mean, either you have to have somebody in your office that's 100% dedicated just to chat, just sitting there waiting for it, or you need to work with a company that is proactively has somebody that is an expert in your field that can answer questions for people. And then like Home Service Chats does, there might be some other ones that do this. I don't know of any others that do, but they actually call the lead once they finish chatting, get them on the phone, and then warm transfer them to your CSR. So Stephanie, I guess the short answer is yes, chat adds a lot of value, but be very, very careful. Don't just add chat to your website from some program and expect you or your CSR to answer it, because it won't work. It could actually lose you business.
Yeah, and that's so important, because I tried that. Chat's not really a new thing. Guys like Home Service Chats, Trevor over there, and you guys could capture his information there. I put it on the screen. This was probably around 6 or 7 years ago when it first came out. I was doing it, but they weren't doing it good. It was a stupid little thing. You had to man it yourself. Here's what I learned, because most of you know, right? Like, we had lots of employees. We did over 200 million in the last 10 years. Like, I did every bad, stupid thing you should never do. The CSR is trying to chat. She don't know to chat or answer the phone. So I'm in there watching them one day. The girl's chatting, the phone's ringing. And I'm like, she goes, I don't know what to do. Do you want me to do this or do that? And I'm like, I thought you were a woman. Thought you could do both things, right? She's like, well, you thought wrong. I can't do both. So I'm like, and then guess what? Someone goes to your site. They're used to chatting with you, but it's only during the day now. So you're like, chat's closed. And here, since we're talking about websites, I'll tell you the greatest thing, and you should let this sink in. Don't put chats on a shitty ass site, because no one wants to talk to the garbage man unless he has garbage to throw out, right? I mean, it's just not going to work. You might get some, but it's not my belief. Here's the number one thing why chats does work good. And I had the honor, Steven, of going into the Home Service Chats fucking world there. And those people there are some of the hardest working people in Kansas City. Now, there's nothing else in Kansas City except crop circles and Home Service Chats. But those people that work there, I was amazed. Steven, it was probably 9. I don't know. We ate dinner together. Trevor and Scott, me, and their wives. They're awesome people. After dinner, we go. So it's 9 o'clock. They're chatting at 9. They're chatting with people all over the place. And I couldn't believe it. And they're just like, and they're communicating. So how many of you have people come to your website, right? Turn around and go, yeah, I guess I'll call in the morning. Or they try to call you and it's an answering machine. So yeah, it's a no-brainer. But let's get back to websites, because if you don't have a good site, putting chat on there, you're just trying to survive then. You got to have the vehicle. Now, Steven, talk about this maybe. Like if would Apple do half as good if you went to the Apple site and it looked crappy, old colors, not modern? Do you think Apple or iPhone would be nearly as successful as it is today?
No way. I mean, and actually that's cool because it ties back to the example of remove stuff. I mean, look at Apple. It barely has anything on its website. And it's very targeted. It's very conversion focused. It gives you what you need. It helps you solve your problem. What are you looking for? It's really easy to find it. It's really easy to buy it. And it's super simple.
Yeah. And Caleb, what's up? Caleb's on here too, Steven. Caleb. Hey, you know what's awesome? Not only do we have a bunch of warriors, we have a bunch of warrior followers. We have a bunch of warrior certified partners that work with us. So I'm honored all of you are here. Tell me what you heard so far. Type in something and let Steven and I know what you heard. And then what I think would be really cool, Steven, that nobody talks about, but we talked about it this morning, the structure of a site, just a little bit. I mean, we're not going to be able to make a master's, but we could talk about compelling headline and a bar and, like you had on my site, make sure that if you need something, that thing's chasing you. So while we're waiting to hear what they're learning, why don't you tell us a little bit, and how about maybe how you do the process, right? Because here's what's cool, guys. Steven just doesn't go, oh, you want a website for your company? I'll just pick some crap out of the air and try to do it. And he also is not giving you some generic ass template that they pull out of some WordPress place they paid $100 for. It don't work that way. You got to have a site that talks to your customers, that takes people through. Oh, this is great, Steven. Tell them how you map out and a little bit how you work with people that creates the customer journey for a website. Because that's what Steven, his agency is the best at that. Creating a journey that when people come in, they get sucked in until they say yes.
Yeah, it's got to talk. It all goes back to this avatar, the ideal client. You've got to know who that is so that you can build the site and build that journey around it. I'll give you a perfect example. We have one site we built for a company in Brooklyn. We have one site we built for somebody in South Carolina. Two completely different avatars. The people in Brooklyn were, it was like younger, successful couples that primarily visited the site on digital. So we built the site around that person and what they wanted to see. There was a lot faster calls to action. They moved at a faster pace. We didn't need to build trust as long. So we gave a really nice big trust building header image. It says like your family plumber for over 100 years, or your Brooklyn family plumber for over 100 years. In most cases, that was enough to build trust. And then they were like, cool, like I'm good. Let me get in there and do it. Whereas the company in South Carolina they needed a little bit more nurturing and a little bit more trust building. So we took them a little further down the journey. We had a really nice, clean, good picture of a family on the front, very soft colors. Down below it, we had some testimonials. Down below that, we had some information from the owner so that they got to know not just the company, but also, the owner. Why did he start this business? And then we started to get more into conversion elements. So again, it starts with your ideal client, and then you want to make sure you take them through this journey, answering the questions that they have, and then giving them consistently an opportunity to reach out, because we don't know exactly when somebody's going to say, all right, I've seen enough, I'm ready. So what Mike has been kind of alluding to is the sticky bar that follows you down. There's got to be something on the site that just kind of sticks at the top when you scroll down. And that conversion bar gives people the opportunity to take action when they're ready. That way you're not waiting for them to go through 2 or 3 or 4 sections before you give them the opportunity. They can kind of decide when it is that they're ready to take credit, or when they're ready to take action. And if you look at a lot of our sites, we have a couple trust building sections. So that would be, a nice picture maybe of the owners, the team, the trucks, showing that, it's quality, really nice, clean uniforms, nice, clean trucks, nice, clean brand. And then maybe some testimonials, because social proof is huge. And then you could have a call to action. Then you could offer them something. Then 1 or 2 more trust building pieces, and then a call to action. So it depends on really who that ideal client is, but you want to make sure that you walk them through that journey and you're answering all of the questions that they have, and then giving them the opportunity to take action. And when you think about I see this missed a lot often too. So make sure you put your contact information, like a really big phone number, in the footer. Think about how you navigate sites. You kind of scroll, you read a little bit, and then sometimes you're just like, all right, whatever. Like you just scroll to the bottom. like you don't even really know why you did it. You just kind of want to see what's at the end. And a lot of people miss that opportunity. And when we look at heat maps of websites, there's way more people than you would think clicking on things in the footer. So make sure you give people the opportunity to navigate and click from the footer. This is completely random, but I see this missed a lot. Make sure that you go to your website on your mobile device and that you can click on your phone number to call.
Yeah. It sounds so simple, but a lot of people just, they're not doing it today, right? I see it myself. You know, Stephen, and guys, I hope this is tons of value for you. We're going to stay a couple more minutes, but what I want to tell you is let's talk about just digital as a whole, and let's talk about the world of social media. Let's talk about the world of website, the world of SEO. Here's some things that some of you probably are not being talked about or you just don't know about today. Is we're in a magical time, but a magically confusing time. Let me make my point. You know, if you go back, I don't know, 20 years ago, let's go. Well, I started a service business 24 years ago. There was no Facebook. I don't think there was any LinkedIn. There was the beginning of, there was blogging and stuff on a very basic low level. Google was not super huge. I don't know how long they've been around. Amazon, I don't know if it existed. Instagram, nowhere to be found. And so I want you to start thinking this, because, you know, Stephen and I talk all the time, and I get these people that tell me, you know, oh, I could get a website for this and that. And I said, oh, so do they know the magic 7 of things out there? So how does this website interact with Facebook? And they're like, well, he's going to put a Facebook button. Like, all right, you're dead. You've been dead before the conversation even started. Like, there is so much more. And this should be huge value for you right now. Like, most of you have a LinkedIn page, you have a Facebook page, you might have a blog page, you might have, you know, something that comes up on Google or maybe Instagram page. That's not the point. Are they all interconnected, communicate properly together? Are they all branded? Are they all have lead capture? Do you have, and I even have lead capture. I'm pretty sure it's on my Facebook page, right? It says click the button. There's no real button, but when you click it, it goes to a link, because everything is marketing. And I'm either delivering a branded impressional seed into your brain, or I'm making you take massive action to grab something. And this is where Stephen's agency is really one of the best at Sequest, is saying, yeah, okay, avatar that we're talking about, most of you don't know about it, but shit, that's like the basic. Let's talk about the advanced that Stephen can't even talk to you about, because you're going to go call up your web designer. You're going to be like, is my branded design interconnected between Facebook and LinkedIn? And is there lead capture? And is there is there emotional triggers in there? And they're like, what? They're like, what language are you talking? And then you'll know, like, your web designer and your company that does SEO is an idiot, right? I mean, I don't mean to demean them. I just mean to tell you what I've went through myself. That's why, with Stephen, I don't know. It's probably 6 years plus now, I think. It's got to be probably at least 6 years me and you are together. I don't remember when we met, but I remember Stephen looked at my stuff and said a lot of things that my other 3 web designers didn't say. And when I heard that, I said, if they don't know that, and I went back to them, I'm like, what about them? They're like, and I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm out. Stephen probably remembers that. I was like, I'm out, because I need to be people with cutting edge and growing. Now, here's the most important thing, and I'm going to let Stephen speak. It's not where your stuff is today. It's not even where it needs to be tomorrow. It needs to be positioned where the whole infrastructure, the whole damn world of online and digital needs to be today, but it has to be where it's got to be 5 years from now. That's how you're cutting edge. That's an X factor. That's how you compete against everybody, right? What is that Wayne Gretzky thing, right? Where you got to be where the puck's going to go. Mm-hmm. Your website, the interconnectedness, your branding of everything, your thinking about everything, all of that has to be where the puck's going to go, not where you need it tomorrow. There's my rant.
I love it. Yeah. And so And Mike, I mean, we talk about this all the time. So, you say 5, it's got to be where things are going to be in 5 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of what we're doing is we're predicting the best we can, because we don't know what type of devices we're going to have in 5 years. We don't know exactly what type of websites we're going to be building. So you've got to make sure your web company is building things that are flexible, and so that they can adapt to these new changes that are happening, or when new devices come out that, they can reprogram it a little bit, and it's not just this WordPress template that might look good today, but it's going to fall apart in like a year or two. And one of the things, Mike, that you say to me a lot, which is really cool, and people forget about this or they don't think about it. So it's the small tweaks that will make you really successful in business. So let's say you get 1,000 people a month that go to your website, and whatever, some percentage of those people call you. Well, what if you increase the number of people that called you by 3%? And then what if you increase the number of people that called you from your Facebook page by 1% and your pay-per-click marketing by 2%? These little percentages don't necessarily look amazing on paper, but when you really get down to it at the bottom line, I mean, 30 more phone calls in a month, that could be huge for you. I mean, if your average ticket's, I don't know, $700, $1,000, whatever it is, or I mean, God forbid your average ticket or sale is like $2,000 or $3,000, then that's massive, massive amounts of revenue. And so a lot of digital agencies don't pay attention to these little tweaks that they can make across the board. They're just looking at giving some sort of, hey, let's build a new website and hopefully we convert it 50% more. That's kind of BS. The real solid agencies are focused on the small things that can move you forward massively compared to your competition and take those chunks from your competitors in the market. They don't have to be big. They just have to be consistent.
Yeah. And you know what else that just came to my mind when you were saying that, Stephen, is that, when people come to your website, not only do you have to answer questions, you got to stop them from leaving, right? Mm-hmm. This is important. Not only stop them from leaving, you got to engage them so they can enter other parts of the world. So if they do say, I'm done here, where do they go next? Not to another website. They go to another area or another vehicle. Maybe it is Facebook they go to because they're like, is this really real? Or they go to LinkedIn because are they professional, right? Because you're being judged on everything today. Stephen, let's give, what is one last thing that you think everybody should know about website, digital world, the online world today, or something that's maybe a prediction, or I don't know, one last thing you think we should talk about?
Yeah, I mean, a couple little things come to mind. I mean, one, as you talked about, don't skimp on your website. I mean, don't go out and pay, $100,000 for some website. They don't cost that much, but don't skimp on your website. Make sure that you get somebody that really knows what they're doing, understands design, understands conversion, is going to build you something that will actually make you money. So your website's an asset, not just some liability that you hate spending money on. That's one point. And then I'll leave on this. This is kind of interesting. We've seen a lot of clients that aren't quite ready, or new clients when they come on, they weren't quite ready for where technology and communication was going. And what I mean by that is, I had somebody come up to me the other day and they were like, hey, dude, I got a Facebook message from an existing client or an existing customer that said, hey, I want to schedule service. They didn't reply to them for 24 hours. The customer was really pissed. And the person said to me, they're like, dude, I didn't even know that I should be looking at my Facebook page for an existing customer to contact me. And so point being here is, pay attention to all of the places where your customers can contact you, because it is 100% allowable and acceptable for somebody to go on Facebook and message you. That is just as important as a phone call, as an email, and they expect it to be returned just as much as they do any of those other methods. So make sure you're utilizing, or make sure you understand all the ways people can contact you, and at least have an autoresponder set up. I mean, through Facebook, you can set it up to say, hey, we don't check this page that often, but for immediate service, please call this phone number. Thanks so much for reaching out. Because, those one clients here and there can add up really, really quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Huge. Tell me, type in, everybody, what did you just hear? If any of you want to get in touch with Sequest, if he's a fit or anything that you need help with, they have a great team over there. It's who I've used at Gold Medal Service, as most of you know, that we grew to 30 million before we exited. And then he also works with CEO Warrior. So he's my go-to company that we go to. So if you guys need the information, it is right there. Be sure to, if there's anything you'd like us to do at CEO Warrior, I seen that we had Trevor on here and Caleb, a bunch of great certified vendors. I'd be honored to do more of these live trainings for you so you could get massive value and move forward, right? Because Stephen and I are on the same journey. We want you to win. We don't want you to lose. And if you're not winning today, pretty much there's a bigger company that's coming, and they're hunting you down. They're hunting you down. Any last goodbye, Stephen?
No, man, that was great. I think pay attention to it. Technology is changing fast as hell. Make sure that whoever you're working with is changing quick, man. I mean, we're talking about like voice. Virtual reality is on our list of things over the next couple of years. So just make sure that you're really paying attention to what's next, because it's going to keep changing faster and faster.
Yeah, really cool. And for any of you that are interested, our next event is June 12th through the 15th, our next Service Business Edge event. Stephen will be there. He's at all of them. Sequest comes out. So June 12th to the 15th, we'll have Brian Kurtz, badass copywriter, Mike McAllowitz, and I'm pretty sure we will have Jay Abraham again. I know Caroline texted me before, said a husband and wife just signed up, and after the Wet Show, we've had tons of signups. So I'm sure there's a couple spots left. If you're interested, pull the trigger. Let's get you in here. If you're not interested, I'm honored to serve you. Go to our website, ceowarrior.com. There's tons of resources. Hit me up on Facebook, or let me know if there's any way that we could help you, me or Steven. So everybody, have a better and great day. Boom.